For over a century, the bicycle has been a paragon of design, a near-perfect invention that's almost impossible to improve upon. Its elegant simplicity has granted mobility to billions. But this isn't a story about that perfection. This is a story about the audacious, the eccentric, and the brilliant minds who looked upon this flawless machine and asked, what if it wasn't? They are the inventors and artists who saw wheels and envisioned legs, who saw a machine for the ground and dreamed of one for the water. Today we're exploring 8 bicycles that defy convention, shatter expectations, and fundamentally challenge our understanding of what a bike can be. Our journey begins with a concept that violates the very principle of wheeled transport, the square-wheeled bicycle. In 2023, Ukrainian engineer Sergei Gordyev unveiled a fully functional, rideable bicycle with perfectly square wheels. But how is that possible? The genius lies in its central deception. The square wheels do not actually rotate. They are rigid frames fixed directly to the bicycle's axles. The illusion of rolling is achieved by a custom-built track, much like the treads of a military tank that wraps around the perimeter of each square. When the rider pedals, the force drives this track around the stationary square, propelling the bike forward. It's a brilliant workaround, a rideable paradox that redefines the very concept of a wheel to make the impossible possible. But if you think a bike with square wheels is strange, wait until you see one that doesn't have wheels at all. It has legs. Inspired by the mesmerizing kinetic sculptures of Dutch artist Theo Jansen, known as Strandbeests, a group of engineers called the Carve Collective built the walking bicycle. It replaces the rear wheel with a complex multi-legged walking mechanism that mimics the fluid, organic gait of Jansen's creations. The project was an immense undertaking, requiring over 700 man-hours and the fabrication of more than 400 custom-made components. As the rider pedals, the bike's 4 legs move in a coordinated spider-like rhythm, scuttling forward in a way that's been described as unsettling, like a mechanical spider demon. It's not fast or efficient, but it's a piece of kinetic performance art that turns transportation into a truly alien experience. From a bike that walks, we go to one that's powered by running. The Fliz bike is a German concept that does away with the most essential parts of a bicycle. It has no pedals, no chain, and no seat. Instead, the rider is suspended from a lightweight carbon fiber frame by a 5-point harness. To get moving, the rider has to run their feet along the ground, building up momentum like the Flintstones car before lifting their feet onto small rests to coast. The design is a modern reimagining of the 1817 Lauf machine, one of the earliest precursors to the bicycle. The Fliz is a fascinating design paradox, using 21st century materials to create a high-tech version of a fundamentally inefficient 19th century machine, proving that progress is not always a straight line. Next up is a bike that takes the most sacred principle of frame design, rigidity, and gleefully shatters it. The Trocadero Fixie, a creation from France that features a robust pivot hinge built right into its frame. When unlocked, the front and rear halves of the bicycle can articulate and twist independently. This allows the rider to use their hips to kick the rear wheel out to the side, inducing a controlled drift or enabling incredibly tight slalom-like turns. For normal riding, a simple locking pin makes the frame rigid again. By sacrificing peak efficiency, the creators injected a new level of fun and maneuverability into urban riding, transforming the bike from a simple vehicle into a partner in a dance, where the city streets become a playground. While the Trocadero plays with the frame, our next bike re-engineers the very axis of balance. The sideways bike reorients the rider to a lateral position, forcing them to balance front to back, like on a snowboard, rather than left to right. Invented by Irish software engineer Michael Killian, the bike features dual independent steering. The rider holds 2 separate handlebars, one for the front wheel and one for the rear, allowing each wheel to be turned independently. This complex system allows a skilled rider to execute graceful, swooping carves that mimic the feeling of gliding on snow, turning a simple ride into an act of expressive athletic art. But what if your journey takes you from land to water? The Dicycle is a bold, conceptual amphibious vehicle designed to be pedaled on both. Created by GBO Design in the Netherlands, it was conceived as a hyper-localized solution for the city of Helmond, which has a dense network of both roads and canals. The design features 2 massive hollow wheels that serve a dual purpose. On land, they function as normal wheels. In water, they act as flotation devices to keep the vehicle afloat, while the tread on the wheels would act like paddles to propel it forward as the rider pedals. While it never went into production, the die cycle is a powerful piece of design fiction, a tangible glimpse into a future where our vehicles could seamlessly adapt to their environment. From conceptual to colossal, we now look at experiments in pure scale. The world's tallest rideable bicycle, the Star Bike, is a towering creation by Frenchman Nicolas Berlioz and David Perrault. It measures an astonishing 7.77 meters, or 25 feet and 5 inches tall. The project began as a casual bet in a pub and evolved into a serious multi-year endeavor. Its gigantic frame was built mostly from recycled furniture, and it requires a staggering 16-meter or 53-foot long chain to connect the pedals to the rear wheel. To claim the Guinness World Record, it had to be ridden unassisted for 100 meters, a feat of balance and nerve that turns engineering into a spectacular performance. Finally, just as some inventors build upwards, others have been driven to stretch the bicycle to impossible horizontal extremes. The world's longest bicycle, built by a team in the Netherlands led by Ivan Schalk, measures an incredible 55.16 meters, or 180 feet and 11 inches in length. That's about the length of 4 double-decker buses. To prevent the massive frame from sagging, the team used aluminum trusses, the same kind used for concert lighting rigs. The bike requires at least 2 people to operate, one person at the very front to steer, and a second person at the extreme rear to pedal. It's a testament to community-driven innovation, a childhood dream transformed into a 180-foot-long, rideable reality. From a bike with legs to one that's 25 feet tall, each of these creations tells a story about the power of a simple machine to act as a canvas for human creativity. They are proof that the impulse to question, to tinker, and to reinvent is limitless. They force us to look at one of the most common objects in our world and see it not as a finished product, but as a platform of infinite possibility.